welcome to episode 107 of the Rusty Quill Gaming Podcast. I'm your host and GM, Alex Newell, and with me today I have...
Helen Gould.
Lydia Nicholas.
Bryn Monroe.
And Ben Meredith.
And who are you playing?
Azu.
Sasha Racket.
Hamid Salah Runata Hand.
Grizzopdrick Amsterdam.
And how are you all feeling? How are you all feeling about how things are going? Everything going good? Going bad?
It's all a bit weird.
It's all gone a bit weird.
I really like it. It's good.
Wait, so that means you like torture?
I like getting answers from people.
With violent torture? All right, the American government.
We're not torturing anyone. We're just threatening someone, which is fine.
As a very quick recap, because things took a weird turn,
It certainly
you managed
did.
to sort of infiltrate and discover a bunch of, let's call them chassis for the simulacrum, dotted around the warehouses, and then you blew up some people, blew them up again.
Oh yeah, we blew up those
Blew them up
people good.
again! Shot a bunch of made some dogs sleep. They'll be waking up soon. And then basically a person turned up. So you shot them, and they disappeared. Then a body turned up. You didn't shoot them, and it was Barrett. That's pretty much where we're at right now, yeah?
Yeah, and he keeps talking about them, and apparently they have some sort of necromantic ability to make
And
his life.
Hades.
Oh, and the Cult of Hades, yes.
Cult of
that was-
Hades. That was the stinger at the end of the last episode.
So we'll pick up exactly where we left off.
Which is with a knife right under Barrett's jawline.
Exactly where he should be.
Cold steel is the ice one.
Cold steel. Oh, that sounds nice.
So, what do we know about the Cult of Hades?
Everyone give me either a knowledge history or knowledge religion, whichever you have high. If you have neither, still roll. The maximum you can get is a 10.
Knowledge.
Oh, critical fail.
Oh no.
Critical fail from Grizzop.
So a 6.
It wasn't killing things, so...
God of life and the sun.
Knowledge local. That's the only knowledge I've got.
Give me knowledge local.
Only if you're in the underworld.
13.
13 on knowledge local.
I got 25 on knowledge religion.
Oh, look at you, Azu.
Yeah.
See, you listen to the sexy bits. You listen to the cool bits. That's what it is.
That's one of the lectures that wasn't being given by Aaron Fairhands.
Exactly. So it all landed straight
She was
in.
able to concentrate.
Hamid, do you have
rather than just
anything?
Squealing.
Okay,
I didn't even roll.
so
I don't
Azu,
have any appropriate knowledges.
it's known widely, it's known that, Romans summoned things or made deals with things and, monsters, blah. You know from your teachings that as far as the story that you have been told goes, it was specifically the Cult of Hades came to Caesar and offered him a chance to conquer all of his enemies. And they were the ones who sort of brought all of the monsters and so on. And there hasn't been a Cult of Hades since. None of you have any references of, like, a Cult of Hades. As far as you are concerned, the Cult of Hades effectively pushed Rome
Ceased
over
to
the
exist.
edge into iniquity, let's call it. True evil. And then when the meritocrats came, they were abolished. They ceased to exist. There is no formal order of Hades.
The cult of what on the who now? Hades?
God of Death, also the cult was bad and was the ruin of Rome.
Oh, that's bad.
They brought all the monsters and
Wait.
things.
Oh, right, so...
They were meant to have been disbanded and, put away and things.
And they're not.
I say, looking at Barrett.
Apparently not.
Apparently not.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Don't
Right.
just repeat what I say.
He goes very quiet.
That was Alex fighting his instincts to make an annoying NPC.
It was. Well, in fairness, Barrett's the original annoying NPC.
Oh, he's no Carter.
He predates Wild, though.
Yeah, but he wasn't annoying. he was actually quite
He was actually threatening.
threatening and sinister.
Yeah.
on his first
How the mighty
appearance.
fall.
Yeah.
This is very dangerous.
Right, okay. So do you think they're with the whole...
Well, so tell us more. I mean, you just don't just leave a vague implication about a barely heard of cult. What are you actually saying?
I don't really follow the question, as in they're the ones. You asked me who.
Right, so they're the
So
squizzards.
the cult of Hades was working for you?
What is a squizzard?
You know, the squid thing with the robe.
Yeah, the tentacle
We killed
beast.
it. Your lot.
It's a portmanteau of squid and wizard.
It's a very clever joke, actually.
Calamagus.
Right.
That one was my one.
It was.
Kind of looks at Sasha.
He can't. He can't turn his
Oh
head
yeah, he can't
'cause
turn his head
there's a knife.
because there's a knife. He tries to turn to Sasha, stabs himself a little bit, and stops. So, I don't know what.
What
Give
do
me
they
spec-
want?
Ah, there we go. Pretty certain they want what they've always wanted.
Which is?
Which is
I mean, the whole domination thing. I mean,
like
old
end
habits.
End of the world.
I don't know. Presumably, they
Hang on a
don't
minute.
tell me these things.
So the one who was working for you, what was the arrangement you had with him? Them.
Yes.
So it is
So
a
you were
squizzer.
you were asking who it was that incapacitated me.
Don't mess us around.
I'm not.
You
asked who incapacitated me. The person who incapacitated me was, yes, that aide. Though
Right.
their,
So when
their position was
when
less,
you kidnapped us in
less
London,
helpful than I was led to
just
believe.
shut up. When you kidnapped us in London and threatened us,
I didn't threaten you.
I'm this close, Barrett. My hand turns back into a claw,
Don't antagonize him.
and it turns back into a hand.
I'm just saying I didn't threaten him.
I think you
This
did.
person was working for you or with you. What was the basis of that arrangement?
A long time ago, I made the acquaintance of one of the older crime lords, shall we say. Certainly before Sasha's time. Probably before most of your time, actually. And, let's say they bequeathed me the aid of this person, for lack of a better word.
Right. And you treated this person as another one of your employees.
They were very useful.
And did that relationship change? I recall
He
recently,
looks down through his swollen black
I
eye.
ignore him and you.
Correct.
When you spoke to me recently through the ring, you said that you had been keeping the cult from us. I imagine you became more aware of their real level of power more recently. Would you like to expand on how exactly that shift in dynamic happened, please?
No, I wouldn't like to expand on how that shift.
the knife
Okay.
goes deeper. Like, it's actually cut his skin now.
Okay. It's very simple. They were quite happy to offer me the aid that I believed was coming from an known source, right up until you all went, should we say, stab happy? They don't take kindly to actively interfering. Certainly not to limiting what I would expect to be quite small numbers of the cult.
They weren't happy that we took one of them down so easily.
Apparently. They don't tell me a lot, or anything at all, it would seem.
I'd be annoyed if I underestimate somebody and it just turned out that they were just very, very competent. Like
Well,
us.
clearly they weren't. You did manage to eliminate them quite quickly. Oh, you're talking about yourselves, sure.
So what exactly do they want? What is their goal? Other than some nebulous, ill-defined concept of world domination. What have they actively worked towards while you have been working with them? And let's just be clear. Let's just remind you of this situation. You are in our power. You have begged us to keep you protected from these people. We made it very clear that that would depend on exactly how cooperative you are. So cut out the attitude.
So, let's just say it was them that originally suggested I get in touch in the first case. Obviously not with yourself, Sasha. That's a long-standing relationship. But certainly regarding the matter with the serpentines, the unpleasantness that was all tied to that, very, very much, I was advised at the time to get involved. Apparently ill-advised.
So, do we have anything else we want to ask him, or shall we just...
I feel like he should continue. I feel like that's really only the beginning of the story, and I'm getting very, very impatient, Barrett.
So these are the guys. They were there at the beginning. So this is after the simulacrum was demonstrated, and then they've been around the whole
Oh no,
time.
much earlier than that. I mean,
And
they were the ones who originally proposed the disappearing of all of the children in Other London, I suppose. Well, not all of the children, but you know what I mean.
no, I don't.
Oh, you do. There was Rooftop Charlie. I forget all their names. What was his name? Begins with a B. Anyway, all of the look, they've been advising in matters for a long time. I don't know what else to say. I mean, I can't give you 30 years of administration.
Give us the edited highlights from the incident with the Serpentine gang, or whatever they were called, until now. I want to know how your relationship with them has changed over the last 3 to 6 months.
And you provided them brains, and you knew that the brains were going.
No, I didn't.
To the.
No, I didn't.
You provided them people.
Yes, I did.
Who were made into brain fuel. And
Okay.
you knew that.
No.
I'm sure you knew.
He didn't. Maybe he didn't know.
I
but
suspected.
he didn't care.
Could have.
Either
More
way.
accurate. More accurate, yes. Look, as it stands,
No,
they have been taking...
No. She just takes her dagger and away from his throat and just walks off.
Okay.
Just walks out of sight.
I'm sure everything's rather highly strung right now. Edited highlights it was, yes? They have been advising for a long time. Once the simulacrum poked their heads up, their advice became more insistent, less suggestive, shall we say. However, looking back, it becomes readily apparent to me that maybe not all of the ideas I had were my own. Suffice it to say, when your investigation started, I began some of my own. And through doing so, came to realize I may have been underestimating my aid. And then, when things escalated and continued to escalate, apparently I was found to be more worth in my current state than my former. Please tell me that's sufficient detail.
So
It's very hot out here.
It's the middle of the night.
It's very cold out here.
So they're
It's actually
running-
pleasantly cool out here. It's nowhere near cold enough.
Oh, don't taunt us. So they're running London now?
I mean, he looks genuinely thrown by that question. Have none of you been watching the...
We haven't been able to keep up very well with the news from London. What is the status?
Last time I heard, I mean, I'd lost most of my territories. I know the others had it as well.
Who were the factions in the war?
There's no factions.
Who was taking them back?
No one. It was just chaos. I don't know what to tell you.
Well, that was quite helpful. So, these Hades squizzards told you to get in touch with this lot, right?
Well, you knew we were investigating the simulacrum. If the simulacrum's interesting to them,
But
it's a
you-
way to keep tabs on our situation.
But you told me that no one knew you were on that mission except for the meritocrats. So, that means that
There's a leak.
the Cold of Hades is inside the meritocrats, right?
Well, no, because the initial
Definitely, yes. I mean, not necessarily regarding that, but I mean, come on.
So the initial attack on the simulacrum, the follow up to that is where we encountered Barrett, and that's where I had this ring. So that was before the secret follow up
Right.
mission, but he would have had inside information.
Okay,
on
so that wasn't in the secret bit.
not necessarily.
But you're still saying there are people...
Well, he didn't want to be handed back into meritocratic custody because he thought that
He sort of tries to look at Sasha Khan and be like, well, I mean, let's put it this way. If I can infiltrate the meritocracy, I'm pretty certain they can.
Who are your agents working inside the meritocrats?
What, all of them?
Yes.
Start from
I
the top.
get out a pen and paper. Literally.
I'm trying to think how best to do this because
We're still working down this to-do list,
I
Barrett.
don't just want to sit and list names
like,
for an hour.
Just say he lists some
I'm
names
trying to
and
decide.
Hamid is going to write them down.
He does. He lists a bunch of names. In fairness, he lists about 6 names.
That all?
Well, I mean, they each have their own cell. That's how these things work.
I fold up the piece of paper and put it back into the bag of folding.
Now, I can't stress this enough. If you don't have any means of shielding from scrying, they're almost certainly coming for us.
Seems pretty likely. I put the gag back on him and just gesture to you two to walk a little way away from him,
Okay.
leaving him tied up and lying
Hog-tied,
down. Yeah.
gagged in the middle of the... Yeah.
So what are we going to do?
Oh, I think just off him. We can't protect him, and he's horrible.
I mean, he certainly deserves to be punished for his crimes, but
He's caused so much suffering that really we should just send him on and let the gods deal with it.
I mean, I'm a big believer in, the justice system that in this world rather than the next world. I understand that.
Azu looks very conflicted.
Can we see Sasha?
No.
I'm gonna call out Sasha.
She'll probably walk out from the shadow
Yeah.
of a. I just
Cactus or something.
yeah, a tiny cactus.
I love the idea that you're there with one hand up either side. You sidestep out from behind the cactus.
I just couldn't be that close to him and not kill him any longer.
We're deciding what we should do with him.
You should give him to Wild so you can get all the information that he has.
I should be explicit. Wild was not one of the 6 names. Like just to be overtly
Good.
clear,
Yeah, that's
I realise I have a
important.
tendency to occasionally skip things without realising his name was not on the list.
But he's worried that the meritocrats are going to be infiltrated by the cult of Hades, so I think best just...
Well, everything's infiltrated. I mean, there might be more information he can give. I don't know if I want to know it.
Also, no, not everything's going to be infiltrated. Probably not the cults, because if any clerical paladin of a particular god pledged to another god, they'd lose their powers. It'd be really obvious.
I mean, and infiltration, it has different meanings. Like, there's a difference between having control and having agents inside an organisation. Like, if we turn him over to the meritocrats, they might still, the people who are working for the right things might still be able to get some useful information, but it doesn't mean we're necessarily handing him into the control of the cult. The cult might be able to access. It's going to be complicated.
If we could find somebody who can cast Zone of Truth, we could try this again. But really, we're in the middle of a desert. We've got a tied-up man.
Just leave him.
Thrown to a manticore? No, that's probably too much. I'd just shoot him in the head.
Azu, you look a bit conflicted.
I am conflicted.
What do you think we should do?
I think that maybe we should give him over to Wild. I think.
He'll just get eaten up by the justice system and spat back out like Carter was. They can't be trusted. The only actual law is the divine law, right? We can hand him into one of the cults, but...
Give me a moment. Can I cast Detect Evil on Barrett?
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, I'm going to do that.
Okay, so I have a bit of a weird relationship with this, just to give a bit of context. Yes, you can use Detect Good and Detect Evil to just detect if someone's good or evil, but I always thought you ought to be able, to a degree, detect, like, if something's like the ultimate evil, it should probably show up more than just,
You essentially see their aura.
So that's my point.
As a GM, you can play
as
with
a GM, like this is a bit of a house rule that I need to remind listeners for, is that I tend to play with it a little bit more so you can detect more than just good or bad. Like, it's a spectrum.
Helpful.
You detect evil, and you detect evil. However, you don't detect, let's call it otherworldly evil. Like a literal devil and stuff like that.
Like the manticores?
So, like, the manticores were... They were literally, I think they're aberration, if I remember correctly.
Pure.
So they're quite literally like embodiments of types of evil and stuff. He isn't registering as that. He's a long way from neutral, though. Never mind good.
I'm able to detect, like, possibility for change.
No, definitely not.
That is not how anything works, I'm afraid. You know what? Yeah, you sense a small glimmer of
So his aura is basically, I'm a really reprehensibly horrible human being, but not like corrupted by something beyond.
You know what?
Demonic.
I'll give you a scale of. He registers less than serial killer. The kind of people that are like running around with.
But he is a serial killer.
Yes, he registers less than someone who goes on a massive killing spree.
He thought he was doing it for good reasons rather than just for personal pleasure.
Compartmentalises it.
To be fair, that's neutralness, isn't it? Just doing it for power. That's
true.
I guess.
Well, no, that's evilness, but it's not the worst kind of evil. I mean, we're trying to grade
more
levels of
lawful evil.
Lawful,
Lawful
yeah.
evil.
I'd say that neutral is often when good people fail to do nothing, rather than.
Yeah. I do not wish to kill him, but we can leave him here.
Oh, well, that... I mean, okay, at
I
that
think
point...
that's worse.
That really is definitely worse. Like, give him a quick death. Don't hand him back over to the cult of Hades or let him die of thirst in the desert.
I can't...
I'm going to take a break as never mind Azu, as Helen has to negotiate this moral quandary. Welcome back. Have we made any progress on the Barrett problem?
Well, during the break, Ben, what did you suggest?
So I suggested that as he gets in a tram, we put Barrett on one track,
And Azu gets a stomachache. Then kill him.
All right, Sasha, you've got the most history. Like, you've got the best judge of him.
Do you want to kill him, Sasha? Not personally, I mean, do you think we should.
She walks over to Barrett so that he can actually see her for the first time and breathes in and out and just says, I forgive you, Barrett.
Ooh, he looks shocked at that.
You didn't care. All this time you didn't. And I think that's because no one cared about you. You know, you didn't care about Brock. It wasn't to punish me you took him away. You just didn't care. You didn't think there was anything worth caring about. I think you should be locked up. I don't think you're as important as you thought you were. You should be locked up and not know what's going to happen next and know that you are not important for what happens to the world or to me, because you're not important. Just a man on the floor.
Give me a sense motive.
Which is very bad at that.
It's true.
Right, this is oh no, actually, so that's 8 plus 7. That's 15 for those working along at home. Pause and do your arithmetic.
So he's not trying to hide anything. You reckon you might have actually found the one way you could have possibly actually reached to him in any way, as in got through rather than like redeemed, but you know what I mean?
Yeah.
He actually shows what might be an emotional response to what you've said, which you're pretty certain you've never seen. I mean, God knows what
Best
emotion it
dagger
is.
of all is emotional.
We're going to tie you up, strap you to a camel, light luggage, and we're going to take you to a boring place. Probably Grizzop's lot. They're a bit more functional. And you're going to get locked up in a boring room. I mean, their architecture is so dull, it's hard even to hide. And then you'll stay there and you won't know what's happening next, and it won't matter.
So we're all just, I think, standing.
I look to the two of you and be like, shrug slightly and be like, is that okay?
I'm not going over there. this is definitely a Barrett and Sasha thing. I'm not getting involved.
Can you get Topaz?
Right, so I think Grizzop should stay here, and Azzy, you should go down to the city because we need Topaz. Do you want to go with them to the city, or do you want to stay here, Sasha?
You can take him. Do you think the Aphrodite lot would take him, Grizzop?
Well, we should take it like the people who arrest people are the meritocratic police force, not the temples necessarily.
Grizzop, yeah, you know that stuff like this happens with Artemis all the time.
They'll take him. Probably trust them better than the meritocrats right now.
Okay.
You can tell the meritocrats that we know they're infiltrated. You can tell Wild that. I mean,
Well,
so that we know we
I've
can't.
got the list of names now.
Yeah.
As well.
Do you think
Also-
he knows all of them?
There is something worth mentioning. It's something I mentioned before, but is just objectively known by all of you, which is that within the temples themselves, they have their own jurisdiction. There is an ancient treaty with the meritocrats, which is you stay on condition that you help, but that means that within their temples, it is their jurisdiction. If it like rules like the old medieval thing of like sanctuary and stuff, those are still in effect. But you better hope that whoever you yell sanctuary at is going to listen, because no one can come in and get you if they don't like it, if you see what I mean.
Sure.
Lock him up. And the meritocrats, maybe they can come in and ask him questions, but we need to tell them that they can't trust anyone. And you think that list is everyone?
No,
you think,
but it's a good place to start.
She leans over Barrett and says, "You think that you know all their agents? You think that they tell you everything?" He doesn't know
he looks
enough.
concerned. Looks actively concerned.
Take him to the temple, lock him up,
Yeah, give me a sec.
leave him there.
I'll pull a letter out of my bag, scribble a note, and hand it over.
Okay, so we'll go down to the city, and you want to stay here, Sasha?
I think.
I mean, we're a few hours from dawn. It's possible a change of guard will turn up at some point.
I
remember?
mean, then they'll just get arrows in the neck.
I'm just
We'll
saying.
take him.
Okay.
There you go.
Looks like it's you and me then, Azu, and the luggage.
Hiya, Topaz.
So, I think it's worth me accelerating time unless anyone has something that they want to do imminently.
No. The dogs. Sasha plays with the
Oh,
dogs.
They wake up.
The dogs wake up.
Yeah.
They are not interested in you unless you actively do things to provoke them.
No, she's going to go and get some of the meat
They're,
that was in a pile.
they're more
and
scared than anything
throw
else.
the meat to some of the dogs.
I swear, if you...
Brutal 2.
Both of the sleeping dogs, not interested.
Should have let them lie.
So I'm going to accelerate time. First things first.
They'll have their day.
Let's deal with who is heading into town.
Hamid and Azu.
Split the party!
Hamid, Azu, and Barrett, yes?
Yeah.
So, Hamid and Azu. I'm going to deal with you first, and then I'll jump back to Grizzop and Sasha. So, Hamid and Azu, you head off. It's easier travelling at night. You know, it's cooler. You head down, and you see that the lights of the city, whilst on, are subdued.
Oh, Damascus on a coast, right?
No, it is near a coast. Let me dig up something to check one thing for you.
I want to take these 2 rings and
It is
fling them into the
exactly
sea.
80 kilometres inland from the Mediterranean,
Okay.
which is and sheltered by mountains and supplied water by the Barada River.
There's the 2 rings I've put in a bag of holding because an extra dimensional space is the safest place for them.
Correct. So, heading down towards the city, it's quiet. There doesn't appear to be much afoot.
We're in the wee small hours now.
Yeah,
basically, aren't we?
it's not even like... I mean, let's be perfectly explicit. There are not the sounds of a mobilising martial force powering towards the warehouses as far as you can tell. You see the odd drunk, you see the odd furtive person in an alleyway and so on, but nothing that particularly grabs your attention. Where are you heading to specifically, I need to know?
The local Temple of Artemis.
Yeah, we'd like to find the Temple of Artemis first, I think.
Temple of Artemis is locked up tight. It doesn't mean there's no one there. Like, it shuts down for the night, and you know what the Artemis lock are like. Shutters, barricades, it's all there. It looks a little bit more like a fortification and a little castle than anything else, but nonetheless, you arrive outside the Temple of Artemis. There is no one around.
I knock on the door.
There's a scrape as the lower of the 2, which is aimed at sort of halfling height, opens, and you just see a pair of eyes looking out.
Hello, I'm really sorry to bother you in the middle of the night.
They look up and see Azu. Hello.
We've been working with one of your colleagues. He wrote a note for you guys.
Gestures.
Yeah, I hand the note through the slit.
Before they take it, they go, in Arabic, you read it first.
Oh, okay. I read it.
Hello.
It's actually written like that.
These guys have got a bad one. Let them keep it. Thanks, Grizzle.
And then presumably like a number.
Yeah.
Yeah, all right. One sec. A few minutes pass. There's a gentle breeze, maybe a little dust devil blows down the street. Barrett shifts a bit. All right. And then, I've said it before, I want to say Sallyport, I just like the word. The smaller door in the bigger door opens, and you see a incredibly rugged-looking elderly woman. Full leather armour, full bow, full quiver. It looks like they're about to go out hunting in the forest.
So dress for bed then.
Yeah, exactly. Real light kind of linens. Go on then.
Which way?
Go on.
I let Azu carry the body, because obviously.
Yeah. I sling him over my shoulder like a sack of potatoes.
Yep. Gesture you in, they close the door and bar it before anything else. Bar it again. So, yeah, she starts walking down. It is stone, even if that isn't the building material for a lot of around here. This one is. You go past what is clearly like a large banqueting hall, let's call it. Big, long tables. Obviously, all of the lighting's quite dim at the moment. You notice it's all candles and old style. It isn't the newer gas and electrical lights that you've seen around. And they lead you through right to the back, and then they lead you down to the basements. Don't touch anyone.
Oh, of course not.
Not a good idea.
What do you mean, don't touch? Why would I touch anyone?
Good. They head down the stairs, and you find yourself in what is effectively a cell block. Heading past, you see there's a couple of clearly people who are in what is effectively a drunk tank. You see one is what appears to be someone in similar leathers to the person who let you in, sat cross-legged on the floor, head bowed. They appear to be meditating or something. There's a few others, and then right at the end, they open one. Chuck 'em in, then.
I do.
Clang. Well, on time at some point. Tell Grizzop, was it?
Yes.
Tell him he's got a week to claim him, do the paperwork.
Okay. I'd like to tell you just a bit more about the situation, but could we do it somewhere out of earshot of the prisoner?
Does it matter?
Yes.
Well, I think there's some relevant information.
All right. I'm going to jump to Sasha and Grizzop. The night wears on.
Yeah, I would prep to have a view over the road coming up to the thing, so that if a change of guard comes, we see them in advance and, I don't know, shoot them. Or just... Well, I mean, they are evil, but then they're evil shift work, you know? In this economy.
Well, then maybe you should just, like, temp kill them.
I mean, there's no ethical work under capitalism.
Anyway. So you're basically taking an Overwatch position.
And I'm going to patrol and make sure the manticores aren't playing up.
No, they seem to be calming. You notice they do tend to get a bit more active when you're near. Lots of snuffling sounds and scraping, but...
Okay.
Should we feed them?
No, if they starve to death, then great.
Okay, they won't go crazy.
Dunno, never dealt with one before. But
you didn't even do well on your knowledge nature, did you? So you know they're not a good creature. In terms of time-wise, dawn breaks, and then a little bit more time passes. Both of you give me a perception check.
Oh dear. Only 17.
21.
Grizzop, you hear the sound of an approaching carriage.
oh, we got one. Something coming here.
Alright, hiding outside the gates, but like...
Gates. I mean...
blown
Twisted metal puddle.
up. Yeah, but like somewhere that...
Carriage
like,
draws near.
above the sort of place that we were watching from when we were scouting out before. So
The shattered remnants of the watch
Yes.
boxes.
What? No, because you want to be outside so that they didn't see you. You want to be in the landscape.
Oh, so you're up near the sort of overwatching ridge.
Yeah.
I get you.
And I will wait in the gate.
So the carriage enters sort of bow range and you see it approach. You recognise it as the cabbie. He seems to be kind of bobbing along. He sees the annihilation and kind of pulls short.
What do you want?
Oh, I figured that you'd all probably still be here. Thought I might get a second fare. I didn't see anything.
No, you didn't.
Nope, didn't see it. Turns the carriage around.
Bye.
He sets off and heads back down the mountain.
Gotta respect that opportunity.
Sasha comes down and chat like, "What's that?"
That was a cabbie.
Jumping back to Hamid and Azu. Rather than playing out the whole RP conversation, because you're going to be repeating a lot of stuff we've heard, just give me a cliff notes that you pass on.
I explain he's a crime boss,
Okay.
that the meritocrats will definitely want to interview him, but
Okay.
it's possible that in his role as a crime boss, he has agents working inside meritocratic forces, so don't let them do it alone.
The woman who let you in seems completely unfazed by
I'm
this.
not expecting her to be. I'm just be
Completely like,
this is what I would probably say.
All right.
Yeah.
Yep.
I also tell her about the scrying possibility and
The Cult of Hades.
They'll try and scry. It's like, I wouldn't worry. Yeah, Cult of Hades. At which point it's a... Pardon?
he said the Cult of Hades were after him.
Right.
We have reason to believe he's actually telling the truth. It's possible we may have encountered some of their members.
Right.
So
I know we makes us seem like crazy people. I don't expect you to necessarily believe us, but just be aware.
Hope they don't botch their sense motive. No, they don't. Yeah, okay. Might have to tell the
Oh yeah,
yes,
higher ups
absolutely.
about that.
yeah, that seems fair.
Great.
We'll also be starting to spread the word
Cool.
that they seem to still exist.
They kind of stand there a little bit like,
Thanks for your help.
okay. Great.
This is such the cult of non-plus. What's that known? What's the opposite of non-plus? The opposite of non-plus.
Plus.
The cult of unfazedness.
Yeah.
Unminused.
Yeah.
Yep.
Okay.
By the way, they introduce themselves as Ilana.
Yeah.
Aw.
And Ilana...
Not overwhelmed or underwhelmed.
Just
The Artemis
whelmed.
lot are just whelmed.
Whelmed.
Just
whelmed.
thoroughly whelmed.
Ilana shows you out. Remember, 1 week. Closes the door.
We should go find
It's a game. You're getting bonus XP for picking the right religious group to hand in prisoners to.
We're the best. Yeah.
Well, it'd be more like, oh, does he need tea? Aphrodite, please. Please.
We should go and tell the meritocratic forces as well and ask them to get in touch with Wild and
Yes.
work out what we're going to do about the, army of robots up the hill.
Yes, let's get back up.
That's something that it's a word that Hamid knows because he spent quite a lot of time in the Czech Republic, where of course they use the word robot. It means servant, and
Yep.
it's because they wouldn't have
No,
robots otherwise.
no one would say that would be
He's,
weird.
he's
They're
been
automata.
learning-
We've already
Yeah,
established that.
Exactly, he's been learning.
Sorry,
He knows a bit of Czech because
I
of
do
that.
spell check.
Yeah.
So are you
Yes.
heading to the meritocratic offices as a pair, or are you heading up, collecting, and going back down?
Oh no, as a pair.
As a pair?
Yeah. It'll be quicker that way. And
Okay.
Split the party 3 ways.
No!
I'm going to accelerate time. Further.
I'd like to just take a quick detour by the river so I can take these 2 rings and chuck them onto a random passing boat.
Are you sure about that, Bryn?
Highs or lows?
One that's going somewhere far away.
Highs or
Okay.
lows?
Low.
Yeah. You managed to catch a trader that's clearly full of local goods, and that means you know that they're heading far away. They're heading due Mediterranean. There was a moment where it's like, so up with... No, down... So yeah, you manage that, head to the meritocratic offices, and you are readily shown through. There is an issue of, like, it takes a little while for a guard to sort of come round, because, it's all locked up for the night, but they show you in, and then explain that it is important, but because of the timing, it's not even worth trying to raise people early, because it's like 4 a.m.-ish. They're like, by the time I've raised them, they're all going to be here. Can you just wait for a bit?
All right.
We probably can't, to be honest. We need to get a message to Oscar Wilde. He was last at the meritocratic officers in Cairo.
Oh, Wild?
Yeah.
Oh, I can go wake him.
Oh, get him
Right now. Immediately. Toot sweet.
sharpish.
So,
Do not give him time to prestidigitate. I want that hair crazy.
the guard jogs off, and then you hear the sound of approaching footsteps. You hear approaching footsteps stop. You hear a mutter, the sound of prestidigitation, and then you hear them finish walking down the stairs.
Gotta respect that.
Wild sees you both, looks livid. He is staring daggers at both of you.
Morning!
Why do I have thousands of reams of goblin paperwork from Ratchet? Why is my office, well, someone's office, filled with what must take 20 years worth of administration to even begin to understand? What did you do?
We're uncovering a conspiracy.
We thought you'd have employees deal with it for you.
Yeah, but not...
We've got more.
Yes.
Great.
We've got like a whole bag of holding full of more paperwork. This one's ciphered.
Oh, fantastic! Great!
Yeah.
I'd invite you to my office, but I can't fit. He
I look
opens a
around.
side door. Step in.
Okay.
He closes the door. He sort of tries to flick one of the lights, realises that the gas hasn't been working for ages.
Also,
Lights a
up the
candle.
hill, there's an army of probably 1,000 robots, but ready-built
Robots,
simulacra.
oh my god.
Guarded by a dozen manticore or similar creatures of pure evil.
He sits down.
They were in a guarded complex. We've taken out the guards, but currently there's just 2 people up there watching this entire thing.
It's a bad place.
We're going to go back up and help them out.
You should...
Maybe send some help and a demolitions team or something.
Yeah.
Thanks, Oscar.
Very helpful.
You're right. We are doing good work. Nice of you to say so.
He's genuinely just... Honestly
and I'm also-
speechless for the first
here's
time.
a list of agents that Barrett Racket had inside meritocratic forces. It may or may
me?
not be complete.
Just holds that.
Oh, yes, and the Cult of Hades may have infiltrated the
Oh,
meritocrats.
yeah, turns out Cult of Hades exists after all. They're the squid wizard things that we've been dealing with for a while. They've been in our reports.
And they want to take over the world.
He loosens his impeccable tie. Okay.
We've been up all night. It's been a long day, if I'm honest, but we're going to get back to it. Thanks for your help. I don't actually leave, but I really want to.
I'm going to cut to Grizzop and Sasha. So it's going to be powering on. I realise you're falling a bit out of sync. It's just, these things happen. It's powering towards, I'd say, mid-morning. It has not been a suspiciously long time where you're worried, but nothing has happened. No one else has turned up. No movement from the manticores.
Gonna look in the admin place for an office kitchen and
You find one.
see if anyone's left any sandwiches.
You find a completely rotten sandwich in the back of a cupboard because the place has been empty a while.
But how did the guards have...
Brought packed lunches. They all got blown up. If we just stabbed them normally, they'd have packed lunches on them, but no, we had to go fireball them.
I mean, that meat that's been outside has been in the sun for a long time. I wouldn't barbecue that.
It begins to smell.
I've got rations.
Oh, great. Well, I've got rations. I just wanted some actual
Oh yeah, but we can eat in Damascus, right?
food.
Oh, also, well done for all of that. That's you did. That was good. The whole Barrett thing.
Just sort of realised that it would be a bit too easy to be like him.
Yeah.
No, it's just you got options, right?
Yeah, life's complicated, isn't it?
You got options.
Yeah. But no, you did, good job. I know you've been through a lot recently, so that was probably the last bit of big information just to suddenly literally teleport into your lap. So
Stop being surprised by things.
Both of you give me a perception check.
That's an ironic point.
That's 21.
That is 29.
The same Panama-clad individual appears, flanked by two people waving a little white flag, going, "Hello! Hello!"
who are you?
And I'll end the episode there. Whoa, major character growth.
That was awesome. I
yes.
love Sasha's speech to Barrett was incredible.
See, none of the audience get
So
to see
good.
Bryn. He does really good silent squee.
Yeah.
His hands sort of come together, and you see him.
Anyone who watched me stream to the moon the other day will have seen
there you
similar
go.
reactions on stream. So
Well,
So
I think.
actually, if you lower the tone of the podcast, you can hear him squeeing out.
Oh my god! I can't believe they did that! Oh my god!
It is too high for humans to hear. Bats, however, think it's adorable.
So whilst you play around with the audio to try and get that, we'll go away and come back next week with yet more adventure.
Woo! Bye!
Rusty Quill Gaming is a podcast distributed by rustyquill.com and licensed under a Creative Commons Attribution Non-Commercial International License. Today's episode was recorded and produced by Alexander J. Newell. To comment on episodes, make donations, and view links, images, videos, and show notes, visit rustyquill.com. Rate and review us on iTunes. Visit us on Facebook. Tweet us on Twitter at @TheRustyQuill or email us at mail@rustyquill.com. Thanks for listening. Okay, everyone ready for a silence marker? For God's sake!
you can't expect me not to laugh.
We did very well.
seen such a big tongue. Is that bigger than my tongue? I've got it. Who's got a bigger tongue?
It's about the same.
Yeah, it's about the same.
But you're not the same size person, so it
No.
looks bigger.
So should we...
I suppose so.
Sorry. I don't think you can blame that on me.
Silence marker 3, 2, 1. Oh, please, I didn't force you to.
You were working with this person.
You should probably
What was the
retake
basis of that
because
arrangement?
I sucked on my lollipop in shock.
What the f...
Oh my god, there's a squiz.
Get it.